Pardon. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah.
Dale gas.
Okay, let's start this. We have a workshop at 4. Roy, what do we have today?
All right, sir. So hopefully we'll be able to get you out of here a little early. All we've got on the agenda is the Development Corporation, and we made a lot of headway in the last meeting because you agreed on agencies. That usually takes us a little while, so we should be able to go right through here. So we're handing out, it's in your original book that we gave you, but to make it easy, we're handing out the Development Corp budget that the Development Corporation has approved as of last week. That's why you've seen it so many times. So, if you start at the top, we're looking at a projected fund balance of $13.4 million to begin the year. We're projecting $17,300,000 of revenue from the half-cent sales tax, and that's strictly based on our estimate for all sales tax. This is 1/4 of the total. Insight, again, this is the money that comes from Insight directly to the Development Corporation. Remember how we break it down? 3/4 of it goes to General Fund, 1/4 goes to Development Corp, and then 1/2 gets rebated back through the Development Corp. The next one is basically money we get from the feds to help us pay for that rental on Hackberry for
Is that
the
what says
congressman.
insight? That's what you mean?
I'm sorry?
What's,
The $1,520,000,
yes.
that comes from Insight. That's the contract that we have with Insight.
Oh,
And
okay.
so all of the sales tax are reported here. And so that basically represents 1/4 of our total estimate for sales tax revenue.
And the figure in 2021 was $1,000,001?
Yeah.
Wow. It's a big growth.
Yeah, they're doing a lot of sales.
Thank you.
Let's see, Marathon is an in and out. We're projecting 130,000 of revenue. The 583 is revenue coming from FEMA for Quince and 27th. Then interest earnings, we're estimating $53,000. Total revenue is 19.6 million. And so, unless you have any questions on that, I'll go to the next page and look at all of the expenditures. The bottom is the summary of the expenditures, and today we want to go through every one of them. So the ones that are highlighted in yellow on the left are agencies, outside agencies that you have already agreed on, that we had consensus last week, as you recall. So unless you want something changed, those numbers will be what you agreed on. So after school learning is 200,000, STC 260,000, Vida 425, and then El Milagro Clinic 230,000. So the way we work the budget, the Development Corp specifically, is most of the projects that go in here are actually recommended to the city manager's office. So you're gonna see that the large majority of the projects are recommended, and not like CIP that you get, $20 million of requests and we've only got, $7 million of money. So this will be a little faster, hopefully. So business development and recruitment, that's Rebecca's department. We fund $300,000 a year. City entryway. So we've got $200,000 here budgeted. That's something that we've done for several years, and it's been a topic of a lot of discussion. So this includes the design and construction of really the way you wanted these things budgeted, maybe 2 projects. So is that something you want to do? Continue to do?
Right.
No.
From my part, I really don't have an interest. I think that money can be spent somewhere else.
And I'd rather have that stuff like we're trying to concentrate in small business, move it up to
I would have that there.
business development and improvement. So we're going to start trying to help out and a little bit more of the small business. Because signs, people don't care anymore when you come in or out. And,
I'll think about that, I'll let you know here shortly.
Yeah, well, the cities are so joined
Yeah.
together that I don't know if people notice them as much. Plus, when we have to maintain them and worry about whatever power or water or landscaping surrounds it, you know, yeah.
Well, it's a sign of pride in the community. And so that's where that started back in 5 years
I
ago.
think we ought to
Yes,
do
sir.
one.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I'm not too big on these signs. So
Okay.
if you do one, you know, maybe, but I'm not. The other thing is, but we
but
still.
if we do one, where do we do it? Because we
Yeah,
got
I do frontage at
east,
Taylor.
west,
I don't-
north, south.
Yeah, I
picture
mean,
with
we
that.
don't really need it. I mean,
That's fine.
really,
Okay, I'll-
Well,
our city
I wouldn't
sign
do
is
it.
good enough. But on that topic of our city signs, do we still have South Pole of Texas
yes.
out there, and
See
do
it
we
every
need
day.
that, or can we put a traditional City of McAllen? You're entering the City of McAllen instead of the South Pole of Texas. I mean,
Well, that's a big deal for us. I mean, if
Yeah.
you all want it out, we could take them out, but that's a big deal for
No,
us.
let's
I
keep
like
it.
it.
you like the South Pole of Texas?
Yeah.
It sparks curiosity if you see it, if you don't know what it is.
Right.
Unless you wanted to update the
Where's
sign
that sign? I
towards,
haven't seen that sign.
if you're coming down the line
See it?
and
There
you're
hasn't
heading
even
west,
seen it.
like when
Where's
you're
that?
coming
There-
from Edinburgh to McAllen, you'll see one for sure. Because I see it all the time on the
When
line.
you're
We
passing
see one
Douglas
on
Ford,
Business
it's gonna be on the
83
right side, it's a blue sign. Are we coming on Alana, on Jackson, heading west?
Well, maybe we can add flowers or flashing lights. Or,
Oh god.
I've never seen it.
We're going backwards. I don't
Well, you can
Leave it alone.
you
We're
make
gonna
an
say
update
anything.
one
I
where
mean, I
you're
think
entering
people,
McAllen
I
to
think
South Pole,
people
Texas.
realize they're in McAllen when the streets get better.
Exactly.
When there's no more bumps in the road.
Yeah, it gets flat and smooth.
There's no more couches on the side of the road.
All right. Okay, so
Next year.
I'll get some samples.
lift, you've already agreed on. Matching grant, so it's, look, Mayor, I would certainly like to move that 200 somewhere, but I wouldn't move it to business development. I would move it down to either matching grants or small business grants.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We talked
Further
about
down?
we talked on the business development that Rebecca, you know, she concentrated on retail, but does she need somebody else? I mean, at this point, we just have one person with retail. Is there another person that could concentrate on other types of business development?
You know, we've had that conversation with her every year, and she still feels that she can handle it. What
I
comes
think
to
she
my
can,
mind
too.
is what you suggested to me yesterday or today, whenever it was, is that, you know, maybe it could come under her tutelage, even though it comes into Development Corp as its own.
Well,
The-
possibly it's just when we are given opportunities, especially the bigger opportunities, we need, I think, a little more analysis. I think I've mentioned that before, especially on these short-term, these quick opportunities where other cities are competing, and we haven't figured out exactly how much it's going to take to win the deal, and you know, we need some kind of either business analyst, somebody that's going to analyze that for us, or a full-blown manager of the development corporation. I mean, kind of one or the other. I mean, I'd rather probably stick with a business analyst first, and then, but
Well, I'd sure like to hear what the commission thinks about that. This is what I would suggest. You know, because we had the perfect example here in the last couple of weeks. And so, you know, that to me, in my opinion, was an anomaly, that we were given basically 10 days to make a $10 million decision.
That was
And, yeah, and so there was a lot of that going on. What I would suggest is when we have a legitimate opportunity, is we've got UTRGV that will whip out anything you want, you know. In fact, I had already attempted to get it from UTRGV as of Friday, and I didn't stop it. I'm probably gonna get it tomorrow. And, you know, they evaluate this thing from all directions, not only on property, but jobs, sales tax, all kinds of stuff. And I think that might be a better tool for you than a person, in my opinion.
Well, if we go that route, I'd like to be able to give them direction as far as like maybe putting templates together. And I think maybe Haddad and I can give them some direction
Okay.
on what we would like to see when we look at an opportunity like this. And a lot of times it would be something similar to like a credit package. I mean, something a little
Yeah,
more
I think-
analytical than just talking about something.
I'm getting a better idea of what Omar's referring to, and it would be sort of like a sort of summary of the deal, but the impact it would have, right? So it would be almost like a decision package, right? But
Yeah,
with
yeah.
analytical type of data.
Yep. And who our competition is and what they might be able to offer and those kind of key information type items
he's
that
thinking of
should be in there.
establishing some type of consistent format. So,
Yeah,
So
exactly.
the whole team gets used to seeing it in a certain kind of. And if some information is not available, you would put that right, in which
Yeah.
you could then return to the party involved and said, well, we need a little more information to fill in these
Yeah.
items that the commission wishes to see.
I mean,
You're
I'm not
talking
I'm not
UTR.
But I don't think it requires a position.
Yeah,
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, we're talking UTRGV, and that we can try that out, see how that
Yeah.
works.
Okay, and what we can do, I mean, they're very flexible. I mean, he took my call like that. Okay, you know, we talked about the things to look at. I gave him, and he understands the confidential letter. I gave him a copy of the HR. And what we can do is when we have those opportunities, bring them in here. And you all, you know, talk about all of this possible inputs into his methodology, and then we'll get it right. I mean, that's what they do,
Yes.
you know? Again, I'm not suggesting that a person's a bad idea. I just, you know, this example from last week was just a bad one.
Rebecca always looks happy. She probably can use some more work. Hola.
Yeah, she does, right?
So,
We need to get in her diet. Okay. All right, so we will make a, well, no, we need to decide today, really. Where do we want to put $200,000? We've got,
What's the 380 thing over here?
where are you?
On the very bottom, number 35.
oh,
Oh, yeah, so those are all of the projects that you've already approved through the years, basically, that all of the money is budgeted there. Michelle goes through
Okay.
those contracts on a yearly basis and estimates what we need.
Because I have no problem assisting smaller businesses trying to come in with, like, look what we were doing last week. Why do we not do it with smaller businesses? And I think we should.
Did we put a small business line item in here?
Well,
Small business grant?
Hello. ¿Qué fresco?
así, ¿verdad?
You know where we put it? We put it in, we put it in another budget. Let us do this. Let me make sure that we didn't put it somewhere else. And if we didn't, we'll put a new line item here for wrap-up approval. Okay? For small business grants.
Well, we have the 4
But in the
million, right?
downtown area, right? Is that what you're thinking?
No, this is just in general.
General.
We have the 4 million on.
Yeah, because we have it in the stimulus. We have that. We have $4 million.
Yeah.
But we
Oh,
could use
perfect.
more.
Thank you.
I think. We get calls, I know everybody does, regarding these issues.
Okay.
And if we can assist and bring them in, we should.
Okay. Project Imagine Tomorrow, we're suggesting we go up to 400,000. That's been a very successful program. Hopefully you all agree. Buxton is the consultant that we use for recruitment. We're very satisfied with them. Technology Park is the part that you've already approved. That's the fiber going over to the bridge. That's an approved agreement that you've already seen. And then Tres Lagos is the ongoing reimbursements that we agreed on when we developed Tres Lagos. On the next page, we've got Auburn and Trenton intersection. And we moved this from the bond project because we ran out of money. And then Daffodil, which we hope to break ground in '21.
have that right away.
Right, I'm sorry to
Yeah, go
go
ahead.
back one page to page 2.
Mhm.
On line item number 32,
Where are we?
UTRGV, oh, yes.
is there a
Right.
reason why that's, I mean, is that something that?
Yeah.
that they-
Roy, where are we?
I'm sorry, well, so we went back to page 2, I'm glad you brought that up, Commissioner. Came back to page 2, the last item that I talked about was Tres Lagos, that's line number 31. See that on the left? And it's 110,490. But Commissioner Zamora brought up the fact that at UTRGV Medical School, traditionally, I wait until I get here to put the $1 million. I recommend we do for next fiscal year.
We have it budgeted for this year, right?
Yes, we do. And we're
So
about to
gonna-
make,
We're gonna make the
we're
payment
gonna make
before
the
the end of
payment
the.
probably next week.
So this million's for next year.
I see.
But is the million for next year going to be stipulated to be a rollback tax reimbursement, basically?
Yeah, be careful about what we talk about.
Yeah, I thought we weren't gonna do this $1 million next year.
No, no,
Talk
no.
about it.
Yeah, no, so what we said was that, let's see, let me choose my words so we don't have
Be
to.
careful.
We can go into
Why
executive.
don't we go, exactly.
Executive.
Okay, we can do it at the end.
Yeah, we can do it, no problem.
All right.
I just don't want to get
Alright.
it.
Yeah.
All right, very good.
Sorry.
Okay, so the next page then, page 3.
Bench.
First one that we're funding is, so I'm looking at the city manager recommendation column, okay? Auburn and Trenton intersection. And as I just mentioned, this was actually a bond project. We're just out of funds, so we're gonna finish it with the Development Corp. And then Daffodil, again, we should get started on that project in the next several months.
Great.
Quince Avenue on line 56 is a drainage project, and we're matching FEMA funds 3-1. And the total is $777,000. And then on the bottom of the page, Christmas in the Park, we fund $15,000, and that's part of the parade. So, yeah, so one's entertainment, one's Christmas in the Park, general, 25,000. And then the golf course erosion control wall, 162.
That's for both walls, right?
That's what.
That's one? I'd like to see if we can do both, because I know he's got 2 erosion walls, right, that need it.
Yes.
And it continues to, it's something that's, I think, in that, I mean, it's gonna have to get done. It's you know, kind of at its critical point, isn't it? And so, why not do both at the same time? Because
Yeah,
they're
it's
ongoing
done.
maintenance of trying to keep that erosion from occurring, just to postpone it a year. Really,
Okay.
I don't think it's needed.
Everybody okay with that?
I'm good with that.
Yeah, me
Is
too.
that,
So that would just
is that
be
good?
like the double of it?
yes?
It's because they have 2 walls they need to fix.
Oh,
Initially,
yeah.
the budget was for one,
Okay.
but
Yes,
it's kind of
ma'am.
a critical point. We really should just do both
Okay.
and fix that little area.
Okay, I'm in a city commission meeting.
Very good.
So we're doing 324? Did I do the math right?
So we're gonna do both, all right? 320.
Did we just double that, or what?
Yeah. Next page, page 4. We've got some money. I want to. Have you seen this number, Yvette? 176 for resurfacing of the parking lot. Is that a good number?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. And that's something that you all agreed on earlier in the year. The McAllen Marathon is an in and out, like I said. Morris Park improvements.
Yep.
Okay, so we recently had a discussion with the MISD, and obviously we've got a project that we're moving forward with. However, you know, this project keeps coming up, as all of you know. And in fairness to the MISD, and I don't think they need defending, but I want to do it anyway. You know, we made a commitment back in 2005 to do certain things. And the agreement was, they gave us the property for Jackson, McAuliffe, and Morris. They transferred the title of the property, and we agreed to make improvements. We did McAuliffe, and we did Jackson, and we have just slow pedaled Morris for whatever reason. I mean, by the time it got even to my attention, we were 11 years down the road. So I'm going to suggest that, one, that we meet that commitment this year, and two, I think we've got a funding mechanism that doesn't really impact our budget. You approved a budget amendment about a month ago to buy Crockett. The school district is now to the point that I think they're going to not want to sell it and continue our relationship that we've had for several years on Crockett. If that happens, you have $965,000. I suggest that we do half of it go here to do the improvements on Morris, because we need about $500,000, and the rest we can continue to improve Crockett.
What's the commitment at Morris? What do we have to? What did we commit to back then?
It was similar to what we did in the other two parks. It was pretty heavy, pretty heavy. They've agreed that some things are probably not necessary anymore, because it included an aquatic center.
I'm like, what?
Aquatic center. And so,
There's my aquatic center, but that's
When
a
it
million.
rains, we get it.
That's millions.
yeah.
That's more.
So
of a-
we've convinced them that an aquatic center, in fact, we told them that that's come up in budget, and that's probably not the location for it. But we're still between $450,000 and $600,000 in need to do the things that we've agreed to do.
Well, but we're gonna be studying it and looking at the best, economical way and also the best functional way to use that area. And I think, the meeting was long overdue, I think, and so I think it's gonna be healthy to keep working on it, and we just need to put some money in the budget to be ready for it.
Right. Right, we agreed that we would come up with a preliminary plan that Denny is working with the school district
Right.
for you to actually approve and MISD to approve before we move forward. So all I'm asking is that we go ahead and put the slug of money to do it.
Why do we need MIC's approval? Don't we own the property, fee simple?
The agreement was to
Yeah.
do, if we do what we're trying to do right now, it's like a lot less than what we were supposed to do.
Oh,
So in
yeah.
other words, we
They-
didn't do what we were supposed
Yeah,
to do.
the 2005 agreement, it was probably in the neighborhood of $2 or $3 million
At Morris.
at Morris.
Sure.
And
You add the
so
aquatic center.
we've got, I shouldn't say we,
I shouldn't have said that.
we compromised them, but I think we got them to agree that the essentials that we want to do are enough.
Well,
And that's
what
probably
about the
$500 or
rest of the
$600.
funds, the balance to Kepler, what's the name of that one? Because that one's been dead.
Yeah, that's
That
funded,
needs to restart.
you have approved it through stimulus money.
Because that one's gonna be real good once
Yeah.
it's done.
Yeah, it was
It's gonna be
4 or 5 million.
fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a big one, and we really need to do that.
That's really good.
So if y'all are okay with that, we'll do that and we'll show
Yeah.
it to you at wrap up,
Yeah.
That's fine.
okay? Okay. Municipal pool, we're replacing some pumps out there.
Is this the one on by the police department?
Yes,
Now it says that it has the filter sand replacement and the pump replacement. I'm sorry, the
filter and pump,
that's just like what, $12.90?
I'm sorry?
Would it be like the?
That's the
Do you still have to
85,000?
do the 54, the 57, and the 1200,
No, that was.
Yeah, no, that-
or it has been
1920.
completed?
Yeah, that was other work that we did, 2 years ago.
Okay, so it's
Yeah, so that's complete.
Okay, good.
Yeah. Then the next one is McAllen, 125. The bottom of the page is air service incentives. Those are marketing and other incentives that you've already approved. Affordable homes, that's the number you've agreed to, 223. Anzalduas, that's to finish the project. Well, actually, that's basically construction management, mostly, because the design is finished.
And that's the bridge.
That's the actual port of entry.
No, I understand it. The
bridge.
bridge. In today's world, Al Saldua can mean.
No, not the park.
Ándale.
Yeah,
okay.
no.
That's
No,
what
no,
I
no.
mean. We're talking
No,
about
no.
the bridge.
Yeah, the bridge, yes, sir.
Roy, and before we move on in McAllen, they were not able to have it this year, right?
Correct.
So what happened with the funding that we, did it
We
roll
didn't,
over?
we didn't fund it.
Oh, we didn't fund it?
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha,
So this is for August of '22.
okay.
Okay.
Item on line number 74, the press box, you don't have a recommendation for that, but haven't we already committed?
Yeah, so that is, we have it as we're gonna spend it this year, and so
Oh.
we talked about it in Development
that's
Corp. We'll just wait till September 30th. If they don't expend it, which they probably won't, we'll just move it over.
Very.
Line 86 is management fee. That's basically what the departments charge the Development Corporation for, finance, IT, management, and so on, budgeting. Payroll, yeah. It doesn't go to anybody.
Yeah.
It goes to the city
Yeah.
general fund. MEDC, that is the number, that's not the number they agreed.
The 950.
Oh, 950,
Yeah.
okay, got it.
That's what we had talked about in.
Yeah, that's what you talked about last week. Okay, then McAllen Heritage Center, 90,000.
Was that the request? 90,000, or was there a different amount?
There was a request, I know I talked to them, they were trying to see if we could get a little more, because they're looking at the possibility of expanding. Could we jack it up to 200,000?
Yeah, so there's two different things. There's last week you all approved 72, they were asking for 80.
Yeah.
We can make that change, that's not a problem. This is actually construction
Yeah.
Yeah,
and lighting,
Okay.
so this
Right.
should probably
This was a
remain at
one-time
90.
project.
And then we can
And
increase the other side,
landscaping.
okay?
So it's gonna be at what?
At 80 on
Okay.
the other one,
That's
which
all.
is what their request was.
Okay.
Yeah, miscellaneous, that's for meetings and stuff. Professional services is the Austin and DC consultant. Storage is what we pay the MEDC. And then the next two, you got Comfort House. There's something wrong here. Oh, no, 100,000, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100,000, yeah. And then swing band, everybody's band, 5,000.
Is that a carryover from the last? No. That's a new.
No, that's what you all agreed on last week. And then the last one there on that page is 90,000 to continue work on the war memorial.
It's great.
Okay, then the last page, is the last page? Yeah. So the 905 is the contract revenue bonds for Texas A&M. The next one is street improvement construction bond. Why is that here? The 620, 620,000.
We don't have enough money.
So we're moving it to the bond?
Cut in half.
Okay, so we're moving that amount to the bond fund to finish that project. Okay. And then City Parks and Recreation After School Program, 200,000. Metro McAllen, that's, as you can see, if you look back 2 years ago, that's about what we would fund Metro, because it comes out of Development Corp. But because of CARES funding, that number is very, very low. And then the next one is maintenance and operations, 175. So that's all of it. Any comments, questions, any additions?
No, I know we had talked about we'd gone through the agencies, even in our development court meeting. I still think McAllen Economic Development Court, MEDC, should be fully funded. But I know we went from 900 to 950. If you look at all that they do and the impact and return that we get from them in healthy years, I think they should be fully funded.
Didn't we increase the amount from 900 to 950, right?
We did.
What's the
They requested-
the total funding amount?
They requested $1,039,000.
Okay.
The CDBG came back with 900. We went up to 950.
Yeah.
What else?
They do get some money from the separate entity that they have, right?
Yeah, they get a little bit of money from FTZ. And the way they've been able to reduce their request is that the FTZ pays them a bigger part of salaries.
Uh-huh.
And so that's why that number's gone down. It was 1.1 in 1920. It was probably 1.3 prior to that, something like that.
Now, the other thing that we had mentioned was that, for Encinos Park, so right now we're already starting with the whole, with the inclusive park in that area. However, I was talking to, some people from the, Special Olympics and for capable kids and all that. And if it's possible, we can add more funding to that park, so that way, we can accommodate the whole park to be able to host the Special Olympics, here in because there's only, the nearest, competition is in Houston or Dallas, I'm not too sure. It's a very popular, conference. So that's something that we can like maybe put more towards Encinos Park, because that one already has the tennis, baseball, it has soccer fields, it has the swimming pool, and so it already has all of those accommodations that if we make them specific to be able to host the games, that would be a really good deal for one, it's gonna bring a lot of people down here, because like there's not even one in San Antonio. It would be like the south.
That's listed on,
competition.
and we can talk about it today, I don't have any problem, but it's listed on tomorrow's discussion,
Okay.
that we're gonna have at Mazatlan. Keep that.
Okay. Yeah, but would that be coming out of economic development, or where
That's
would
up
it
to
come
you.
up?
That's up to you, whether it gets funded and where.
Okay.
Is there a budget for that?
Right now, actually, well, I got together with a couple of, and also MISD, so I was talking to MISD, Capable Kids, and the Special Olympics, and myself, and I also talked to Commissioner Cantu, and he's also willing to help out.
I think it's very worthy to do that, and once we get a budget, I think
Yeah,
we have some funds available to participate.
yeah.
Yeah?
Danny's probably done some homework already for tomorrow.
Okay. Thank you, Dan.
That's all I have today. I hate to dismiss you in 34 minutes.
Well, we're gonna do executive?
Do we need everybody else, or y'all think?
Have we considered, we don't have a quinta in, let's say, the stimulus or development corp or our CFP, whatever the new fund is called. And I know the belief is that they're generally on the path of being fully funded.
Pepe, almost missed the whole meeting. Almost missed the whole meeting.
The cost might be, and maybe should we supplement any
Yes.
rise in their cost?
Yes, we should. So, part of tomorrow's discussion, but we can have it today, is we're gonna take two things. One is the list that you all put together for kind of long-term projects. And as I said in the email, I bet half of them we took care of through stimulus. But nevertheless, I want you all to feel comfortable that that's been taken care of. That's one. Two is I wanted to bring back the stimulus discussion because, among other reasons, is on the very first meeting and possibly the first and second meeting of stimulus, I suggested we consider Quinta for stimulus. And I felt that the consensus was no. So I never brought it back up. But I want to show you that it was there as part of our initial request that you consider it. We feel pretty good about where they are and where they're going to be with Quinta. It's a huge project, like I said, that we've been working on for about 8 years. And, you know, they're within, depending on what MISD does, and I got to give a lot of kudos to MISD, they're going to consider $4 million to go to Quinta. If that happens, we're within about $4 million to close the estimated construction cost that we have now, which is about $35 million. Hopefully it won't go more than that, but yeah, I think that, I think we owe it to the project, if there is a gap, that we consider funding it.
Yep, I agree with you.
They have done a yeoman's job of,
To bring the other
To bring
revenue
in private
so
money.
It just makes sense to
Yeah.
bridge that gap and continue the project.
they're close to 30 million, 28 million is what we've got secured.
To me, when UTRGV stepped in and to do what they're going to do and then continue to do teaching and research and help
Yeah.
out, that's
That's big time.
big time, and that's what we needed.
Yeah, that's
To me,
gonna be,
that was,
that's gonna be their outside lab for
Yeah.
UTRGV.
What's UTRGV's commitment again?
Yep.
Right now, it's $5 million
In state of the art.
and basically willing to do more, but with more strings, and the strings is what I'm trying to avoid.
Guys ready? Then we'll recess into executive session. Do we need anybody, Roy? Yes, Tony?
See y'all tomorrow.
I need to go back.
Yeah.
So we're back from executive session. The time is 4:59. Counselor?
Mayor, recommend you take no action and
There being no further business, this meeting is adjourned.
Vámonos.